People deluded, I'm back again. I'm not going to lie, I'm gassed. I've got Gavin Hoyt with me. He needs no introduction. It's something I've been really looking forward to this week. I said I had a surprise for you lot. How you doing, my guy? You well?
Yeah. All good. Doing what we can in this obviously situation, but yeah, everything's good.
Good stuff, good stuff. What you been up to kind of keep yourself ticking over and keep yourself from losing it, being stuck at home?
Oh, we got three kids, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, they're keeping us very busy. Yeah, so yeah, so just doing that really. We began out for a lot of bike rides and that, um, playing out in the garden. Really nice. The weather's helped, so yeah, that's a big factor. That's helped us.
How many miles do you cover on a bike? Because I know you footballers are quite mad with the distance you cover in terms of keeping fit.
No, well, you have to keep it not too far because obviously the kids can't ride that much,
Oh, yeah.
that too far. But we've been going. Well, we'll go about 7 miles, but for they're only 8 years old, so for them that's
Quite a lot.
quite far. Yeah.
Can't blame you. So from a club's point of view, obviously, sadly, the season stopped. How was it going for you at club level from a collective and a personal point of view up until this happened?
Well, we was like mid-table, just like trying to get into the playoffs. We had a month where we thought we had a good set of games where we think, we've got a chance to get into them playoffs. But obviously, it's all ended now. So I think it come out the other day that the season's like finished. So we just got to get ready now, try and get fit and get ready for next season. Really.
How does that feel as a footballer at that level, with the uncertainty around it? What's the sentiment around you footballers? Are you confident about your futures at clubs? Are some footballers having cold feet about staying at certain clubs? What's the sentiment like?
Well, no one's certainty what's going to happen because obviously lower down don't get as much. The clubs aren't as well off as some of the like the higher up clubs, so their income is from the gates, from what they get from the fans coming in.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going on. I don't think they know what's going on. So it's a bit like I don't know. You just got to hope for the best and just carry on. Just keep training and keep staying positive because you never know when like anything can start up again.
hmm That's a great thing. Like from speaking to you in the brief moments I have, you seem very positive, very optimistic. Have you considered the other side of football, being that you're 29, I believe, turning 30 this year? You've got three
Yeah,
kids.
well,
Yeah,
what month are you in? May now? Yeah, so next
yeah,
month I'll be
yeah.
30. Yeah.
You're 30 next month. I really shouldn't say that, but yeah, man. How do, how do you feel? Because obviously you're not just playing football for yourself now. You obviously got three kids, got a wife and whatnot, and have to think
yeah,
about your long-term future.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I've been starting to look into like other work and what I can do outside of football, but I still want to achieve something in football. I know I still can, even at the age of 30. I haven't won a promotion. I haven't won a league yet, so
The hunger
I've
still
got
there.
yeah. That's what I want to do before I retire. So that's what that's what I'm aiming for, and that's what's keeping me going. Really.
hmm Yeah, man. I mean, you see, you definitely don't want to quit it anytime soon. I can hear you've got the
No,
fire
no,
in your
no.
belly. You're smiling just by talking about it. From a personal point of view, this season, what's been your best and worst games or best and worst moments for yourself at club level? I know you spoke on clubs, but like individually yourself.
Well, this season you don't.
Yeah.
This season. There's been a few actually. I'm gonna say two. There were, I would say three actually. There was one game where we got played against Torquay in the FA Cup, and that got us. I think it was the first round or second round. I think it was first round actually. So it got us into the first round, and then that was a big game for us. Um, Torquay was a league above us. They was on good form and coming to our ground, and I think they was more so the favourites. Like their strike force, high flying, scoring goals, and they come to us, and we won 1-0, and then we got into the first round, and then the next game was playing against Blackpool.
Oh, that must
So
have
it was a
been tough
big day out for the club, like a Conference South team going to Blackpool,
It's a big
A
game.
big day out it was. We lost, I think it was 3-1. So we was 1-0 up, scored a great goal, got into half-time thinking, yes, we can do this. And then unfortunately, like, we let in a few goals, which we still think that we could have done better because we could have avoided them goals. And then at the end of the game, they showed like their level and how good they are, and they won it quite comfortably. And then there's I'm going to say the third one is my first goal for Maidstone. And I scored it. My first goal was against Dulwich Hamlets.
Hamlet.
Yeah. So scoring at Maidstone in the home end, the crowd was for where we are, Conference South. The crowd, I must say, is brilliant.
Talk us through the goal, man. Talk us through the goal, man. You can't tease us.
Just played a little 1-2 and then got the ball back. Played it on the outside of my right foot. Carried my run into the box. I don't know what I was doing, but I ended up on the left side. Everyone still says to me, "What's he doing over there? What's he doing on the left side?" And then there was one winger behind me. There was no chance I was leaving it. He shouted, but there was no chance. No chance I'm leaving it. Come to me, and I just struck it. Left foot as well.
Oh,
right footed. Left foot's normally my standing foot, like. So yeah, just struck it and hit the net, and then that was it. I didn't know what to do after that though. Celebration was like, I just ran to the corner.
About the moment, man. Oh man, keeping up with that theme though. What in your whole career? What would you say is like the best game you've ever had? You felt you was unplayable, the best moment, and by the same token, the worst moment you've ever had.
Oh, the best game. Oh, that's a hard one, you know. Oh, then probably that game. Cause that's like full of confidence. I don't know actually. Let's my best game. I'm not sure on that one.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, put me on the spot there. No, I know the worst game. I can talk about this season anyway. The worst game this season was when we went up to what's the team? Oh, I forgot it. Weymouth. It was Weymouth away. It was. I can't even remember the score. 4-1 or 5-1. We've given away 4 penalties in the game.
Wow.
I don't think anyone's exactly. You're saying, wow, we've never heard of this.
Yeah.
4 penalties. And luckily enough, they only scored 1 of them.
Wow. Equally as scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the score could have been a lot worse than what it was. So, and then obviously the trip home, that weren't nice. So that's not a good memory, that one.
Yeah, man, that sounds like
glad to get that one.
Huh?
Yeah, glad to get that one out of the way and done.
Because that must, man. I mean, football, as great as football is, it's never nice to be on the side of a defeat, let alone a result like that. But talk to me about Arsenal. What was it like? How did you get scouted for Arsenal? How did you first start playing football in general? And what was it like up until, I'd say, under 16s?
So I started off when I was young. So I was playing for Ridgeway Rovers. And then Arsenal had like a day out thing, and then we went to the JVC centre. So I think they brought over a few players from Ridgeway, and then we played against the team in the JVC centre. And then after that, they invited, I think it was about four of us over to come and play for Arsenal in the youth team. So I started off when I was 9, and then since then I just built my way up all the way up until I was stayed there until I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a very long time there.
Well, you can definitely be proud of yourself. You've been there from 9 years of age until 21. Most people are
Yeah,
there a year, such as the cutthroat nature of football. Do you remember
yeah.
your trial there? And did you feel any pressure on trial? And generally at Arsenal, because it's, I mean, even till now, it's always, even it's probably worse at your time because no disrespect to Arsenal, we were better as a club. So you had to be, you had to prove yourself even more and whatnot. Did you feel under pressure? Like there's always trialists and there's always someone trying to take your spot. Did you ever feel comfortable?
I don't know really, because I think where about, I wasn't the best technical player. I was always quick, and like, I always just tried to work hard and just listen to the coaches and try and do what they used to say, and they used to help me get through. But yeah, I mean, when I was young, so I started off at 9, and it was only me who went through from 9 years old all the way up to 21. So I've seen what I want to say thousands of players come and go.
Definitely.
Like people used to come in the day, one day out the door the next. It's crazy how it goes. But yeah. But then saying that, I was with a young player as well, same age. He's played Ridgeway as well, Dwight Gale. Everyone know him.
Mm-hmm.
So he come through the ranks as well. So we started off at 9, and then I think we went off to 11 aside, and then for some reason or not, he just like fell by the wayside. And then I think, I don't know really what happened, but he left there, and then didn't hear about him for a good, I'm gonna say, a good while.
Mm.
And then you hear about him through non-league, and then him coming doing well at Stansted, I think it was, and then he's doing well at Bishop Stortford, and then Dagenham, Dagenham and Redbridge, and that's where I met up with him again. So we was 22, I think. I was 22. Met up with him again at 22.
Old boys back together.
Yeah, Dagenham and Redbridge, and then look at him now, like built his way up again, like all the way through the ranks, like a player who's had a lot. His potential when he was young, he was crazy, like scoring from corners. He was doing
Oh,
madness.
was he
Yeah,
small?
yeah,
Like, what was his? Because I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to think
It's
of a reason he got
tiny.
released.
Yeah, I think that's another probably a reason why. Because his height, he never like. Even when I met him up again, he was still small, but he built himself up.
Yeah,
But
physically now.
yeah, and I think that's what it was. Everyone like got above him, like height wise, and
Just dominating him physically.
yeah, and then I think they say, oh, he's not tall enough, he's not going to be good enough. But he stuck at it, done his stuff
Yeah,
from,
no,
and then now look at him. You would have never have thought that.
it's
I
crazy how
think
football
it's
works.
so from what is it now? Is it 15? You go from 11 aside?
It's maybe even younger now. Probably like 14.
Yeah, 14. Yeah. So from about 14 to about, I'm gonna say 19. Didn't hear from him. Didn't hear about him. Probably playing like non-league, like, as I said, Stansted, I think it was.
Yeah. No, that's
And then
mad.
now look at, yeah.
No, that's crazy, man. It's funny. Like it's
So
everyone hears about Jamie Vardy. No one hears about stories like that.
yeah.
Right.
That's a big one. Him.
Playing at that sort of level as well. Do you think there's more gems out there, or have you played against someone before, or this season, or whenever, and thought, why are you at this level? Like you could play at a slightly higher level. Why isn't a scout or someone taking a chance on you?
Yeah, you do get a lot, to be fair. But then it comes down to their attitude.
Big
That's
man.
what I think. That's personally what I think. It's that one major thing with me is that like how their attitude is, whether they're willing to learn, whether they're willing to listen to coaches, whether they're willing to um, like work hard for the team. There's another thing. Like
Mm.
you could be brilliant going forward, but a
The
lot
other
of
way.
players it's the other way, and then that's a major factor in things.
Yeah, that's a good point because I mean, talent will only take you so far, and certain people only got a certain amount of patience for talent, so you've got
Yeah.
to work hard. Did you any feel added pressure? Obviously, your brother's playing football. He's had success at Arsenal. Did you feel any added pressure in that you've either got to match him, you've either got to make a name in your own right in a respectable way? Did you feel any added pressure on top of just wanting to be a professional?
You know what? I always get asked this, but I always say the same thing. I think my parents brought us up like I was never really jealous type. So
No, I'm not saying jealousy.
what?
Go on.
No. I mean, like you always say saying like I want to do what he's doing. Like I've
Mm.
never thought of that, but I was always happy for him and the way he always used to help me. So like anything I did, he used to talk to me and be like, "Oh, like come on, like anything. Like even my first game at Arsenal in the Premier League against Man City, it was. I spoke to him and was like, "Oh, I think I'm starting like the next game. I think I'm starting." And he goes, "Is it?" Like he was so happy. He said, "Oh, he's obviously got confidence in you. Just be yourself, do your stuff, and like you'll do great." So I
Yeah.
think whereas he always used to help me, so I think that
Your brothers at the end of the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that helped me. So it didn't really put a lot of pressure on me. So I never used to think like, oh, I've got to do what he's doing. So I was always think that I'm my own person. I could like do my own stuff.
Mm. That makes sense, man, and that's the right attitude to have because you don't always see people with that. You mentioned like phoning him and saying, "I think we'll be starting." How did you feel like you deserved your chance? Like, did you feel you was excelling at reserve level and it's coming, or did it take you by surprise, sort of thing? And how did like Wenger tell you, you know what, you're training with us and you know you're gonna play, sort of thing?
But yeah, I was training with them quite a lot to be fair, and it was just I think the day before, not day before, that week in training, one of the coaches come up to me and said, like, there was me, Henry Lansbury, or no, I think it was Jack Wilshere and Armand Traore, and we was doing a little warm up by ourselves, waiting for the other first team players to come down, and he come up to me and was like, one of the coaches come up to all three of us and was like, one of you are going to be starting against Man City. One of you are going to be starting. Which one do you think is going to be? All of us all said, yeah, Jack.
You.
And then he was like, nah, it's going to be you. I was like, what? I didn't think anything of it. Like, just think, yeah, he's messing around or whatever. Yeah, and then we do the starting lineup, like to do the shape, and I was thinking, like, I don't think you get a lot of time to be nervous. Do you know what I mean?
To sink in what's
You just
happening.
got to get on with it really. And I think where I was so young as well, I was a bit like, oh yeah, this is isn't it normal? I don't think I probably didn't take it in as much as I probably should have. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So I think, yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I'm gonna be back here again. Do you know what I mean? So I probably took it for granted. I'd say, yeah.
Was there ever, I know you said you probably took it for granted, but was it the day you woke up, the day before you went to bed, at some point did it go, yo, I'm playing at the Emirates, like, playing against City and these you know, these players that are in FIFA and these sort of things, like,
Yeah.
this is a madness.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a bit that. It was coming out and you coming out the tunnel. You look at all the fans around, look around, and then you can see like I think it's up against Robinho.
Mm.
So I'm like, wow. I've seen videos of people doing it, like him doing a madness to people. So yeah, nah. There
What
was
did
a
it
bit
feel
of
like
a.
playing against Robinho, like, and these players, like, what went through your head, like, while you're in the duels and whatnot in the games, sorry?
I don't know. It's just. I don't know. The game's just going on. You can't really think about it, innit? You got to be like. This is what you train for every day. So like, it's normal. I've been training. You train against like Van Persie. You've been training with Henry. Training against players like that. Like, so they're the best. Like they're the best.
Mm-hmm.
So you're up against just as good players, but you've been training against top class players, training Fabregas, players like that. So training was another thing for me. Training was like matches, like you're like.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
probably that was another thing. So that's probably how it made it a bit easier.
Mm. So you was kind of not laid back in a negative sense, but you took everything in your stride. You weren't necessarily phased by anything. Did you lot rip into Almunia at the end of the game? Because I think he cost us that game, man. I'm gonna be honest against City. I think Almunia was bugging in that game.
Well, I was young. I don't I don't really know it.
Oh man. Oh, but honestly, on a serious note, back to your early days at Arsenal. Obviously you've gone in the academy days and it comes to getting a scholar, and that's where I think, not being a footballer, is it looks cutthroat. How was your feelings around them? Was you confident that, it's business as usual, I'm going to get a scholarship, or was you thinking it might not happen for me?
Well, to be honest, when I went into, I had a meeting with Liam Brady, it was at the time, and just before they said, oh, we're not sure, like you're a bit half and half if we're going to give you one or not. We're not sure about you. So there was actually a chance where I could have got released. So I don't know, I just knuckled down and just kept working hard, and then just went like that. Got on with it, really.
Uh-huh.
You've seen so many players getting released every day, so it was just like, I don't know. You just got to carry on trying to just work hard and get that scholarship. And then obviously when I got it, I was over the moon, delighted. Getting a scholarship at Arsenal, the best club, best facilities, best coaches. So, yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine what it feels like to get a scholarship, but what did it feel like to get the pro deal now? Like, you've signed your first professional deal. Obviously, you've still got to work hard in that, but technically you are a professional footballer now. Like, in its own right, you've accomplished what every boy has ever wanted to do, sort of thing, let alone that at Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one because that's what you're aiming for. That's what you're working every day. You're training every day for. So you are happy with it. But that's just the start of the journey, really. You're still at a young age, so it's it's not really your aim is to get into that first team and get into that first team dressing room. So at Arsenal, the reserves and the scholars are all on one side of the building, and then you can't really go into the other side where the first team are. So that's another big thing. If you step into that side, then everyone's looking at you like, "What's he doing in it?" Like you're a bit nervous to like step down that side. Even when my brother was there, like I was still a bit nervous to go down there. Even though I was going home with him and stuff, everyone's still looking at me like, "What's he doing down here?" And even in the dining hall, like upstairs, you get like the first team, and like they get the cutlery, like the silver cutlery, the glasses, and then the youth team reserves, we're getting the plastic
Oh,
forks and and plastic cups. So that's another little incentive. It's another little incentive to like trying to get up that end.
hmm You mentioned, like, obviously at training, when you eventually got over to the first team and whatnot. I mean, you've mentioned a bag of great players, but who was the one that was tough against to play with in training, or you knew was a baller sort of thing, but through seeing them with your own eyes, you're like, nah, you're really sick sort of thing.
It was loads. I mean, Fabregas is definitely the one. Like all you have to do was just give the ball to him and let him do his magic, really. So, but then for me, another one at the defence side, a lot of the defenders helped me, like Kolo Touré and Clichy. He was another one for a fullback. Clichy, I mean, like any winger turn, he was right there, like in an instant. Like he knew how to defend everything. So, and he was good on the ball. So for me, I tried to watch him how he used to train, because he used to train 100% all the time, always give his all, and he was a definite role model, like in training, the way he used to go about things.
Was he? You mentioned like he was a role model. Did him or any of the players take you under their wing, sort of thing, and like try and show you the ropes and that sort of thing, or was you particularly close to anyone in particular?
Not really, they weren't. I think it's a lot where you was very separated there.
Mm.
I don't think you really got too close to them. It's only when you went training is where you saw them like quite a lot. But no, not really, not really. No.
Out of all
I
the
think I
yeah.
think maybe because my brother was there, I think that was a factor, because I think he helped me a lot. So
So you already had him to take you under your wing, sort of thing. So you didn't,
Yeah,
not that you didn't need to go through that. He was already there.
yeah. I don't know whether people was more like, oh, that's his brother. Like, didn't really say too. They like had jokes and spoke to me, but I think they left it more to him. So.
Hmm. And in terms of obviously mentors and that, we can't not speak about Arsene Wenger. I mean, what's your thoughts on the man, being up close with him? How was he in training? How did he improve you? How was he like as a guy? I mean, we could sit here and talk about Wenger all day, to be fair. I'm a big fan of his.
I mean, you give me plenty of like to play at the Emirates, to play at Man City. You give me them chances, so I'm very thankful. I mean, like for the young boys, he done a lot. But I think where they didn't win enough trophies at that time, maybe I think that didn't help us to get even more chances. Because I think if they was a bit more successful, then maybe they could have brought us in a bit more. So, but whereas it was like, oh, we need to win trophies, we need this, we need that. It was a bit of a gamble to play a young player. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
So to give him a little bit longer.
mm. It's a tough.
But yeah. I mean, yeah, he was great. I mean, seeing what players he's brought through from young age. So I think it all speaks for himself, really.
Mm. Do you remember your first interaction with him?
Not so much. I just remember the time. So we've gone away on a Austria trip with the first team, and at the young boys we have to sing on like initiation.
Mm.
So I sang mine. I had to sing. I sang. What did I sing now? My little go-to. R. Kelly. I believe I can fly. So I sang that, and then the next morning he's come down. We come down for breakfast and that, and he's pulled me over. He goes, Gavin, I got a call yesterday. Somebody wants you to come sing for them. Like I heard, like they need a singer. You can come sing. So I think he enjoyed my like singing.
He enjoyed your little.
But yeah, he did. He did have like a little bit of jokes and that. But then there was times when he had to be serious, and he never really shouted. But there was a few times when he did. Let's say only times. There's twice. The Carling Cup it was when we played against Burnley, and I played that game. We lost, and then after the game he lost it.
Tell us the details, man.
No, he just went crazy. And how can we not score against Leicester? Like, not good enough. He was not happy.
I mean, I can't. I mean, every man's got a limit, but I can't imagine Wenger turning like that.
Yeah. I
Must
know.
have been a shocker.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So he don't normally shout. We never really heard him shout, and that time he weren't happy.
Yeah, madness, absolute madness. You mentioned that if you could not if you could go back in time, like at the time you wish you soaked it in a bit more. If you do, you have any regrets at Arsenal? Do you wish you done something a bit more? You did this, you did that. Is there anything if you could go back in time that you change?
Nah, not at all. I did get out of that a lot, but nah, not so much. Nah, I don't like to um, go back and regret some,
Back in
not whatnot. But I always think, look, started from the age of 9 to 21. I've played in the Premier League. I mean, even though it's one game, I mean, there's not a lot of players.
That, yeah.
Yeah, there's not. I don't think there's a lot of players that can say there. Not a lot of players that can say that. Not every player can say that.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't the best technically, but I made all my way up into the Premier League, and I played that one game. So yeah.
That's what makes it worth it, man. At the end of the day, like you said, I'd give a lot just to be in that position. To be honest with you, so you've done yourself proud. Do you remember the day? Sadly, like you said, you've worked your way up, you've gone through, you've made your debut. Do you remember when it became clear that you probably, you and Arsenal's journey was going to end, that you wouldn't be staying and having a long-term future here anymore, sort of thing? And how did that feel? Like, do you remember when it was broken down to you?
Yeah, it was more so what I think I knew it myself. So I was so when I signed my contract, Then I went on loan to Watford. Didn't do too well, played a few games. And then went back at the end of the season to Arsenal. And then weren't really training with the first team or not whatnot. So then I went back on loan. And then I went to Brighton. Played and then come out the team. And then played again a bit. And then obviously end of the season went back to Arsenal. And then and I'm thinking, oh, okay. So when I went back, I'm not training with the first team at all already. And then you're getting younger players coming through, even younger. Like I think talking about 18-year-olds coming through, training with the first team above me. And then you're like, okay, like it's time I need to buck up here and need to start playing really. And then getting out on loan and playing with other clubs, trying to move on. And then went on loan another 3 times, I think it was. So I think it's like you can slowly see what's happening. Like players are getting younger and younger, and good players as well coming through. So you're thinking, okay, so it's time for me to move on now. And it's a good thing though, because if I didn't go on loan, then it probably wouldn't have got me ready for what I'm playing in now. Like some of these stadiums and pitches and venues, like, because obviously you're just used to Arsenal, like the best of the best. You're getting everything laid out for you, 3-course meals, everything. Now you have to cook your own meals. Your kit's getting laid out for you at Arsenal. All kit you want. Now you're struggling to get 2 pairs of shorts.
That's amazing.
It's a real life.
Oh man, do you ever feel like, because looking at it, obviously I personally feel you should try and get out, any young player should try to play men's football as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
but looking at your loan spells, you've been at a couple of clubs like you said. Do you feel any of them were counterproductive, or do you feel it kind of was counterproductive in the sense that, you know, different clubs, different playing philosophies, different from Arsenal as well, and it kind of, on one hand it gives you experience, but on the other hand, yeah, it's kind of, do you feel it was counterproductive?
Yeah, I think it's very productive. I mean, each team, I think I took out something from each. I learned a lesson from all of them. Each loan, I had a big lesson from all of them. One of them is what I still do now. So when I come out the team, you got to work harder. Because before I used to be like, I'm at Arsenal, I'm going to go back there, I'm going to be all right. But now that don't work like that. When you're at the team, you need to work harder than the person, because you never know when you're going to get called upon. So you got to be ready, because that person in your place, he could get injured. So if you're not ready, then you've missed your opportunity, and then someone else is going to take it. So you got to be ready for that. You got to be ready to take that, and then that could be your chance. That could you don't never know where it could take you. So you're playing in 1 minute, then you're not. Someone comes in, takes your place, or you're out the team. That game, you have a worldie. You do, I don't know, score a goal or something, set up 2 goals, and you never know who can take. You never know who's watching. Another manager was watching that game, think, oh, he had a good game, didn't he? And then he gets a new club. Who's the first person he calls is you. So you never know who's watching. You never know what's going to happen in football. It's a turn. It turns like so quick. Football. It turns so quick.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It sounds like just a big roller coaster, just from all the experiences you've said so far, with highs and even higher highs and then mediums and whatnot. It's quite crazy. What was your best and worst loan spell, if you had to grade them? Like, which one did you feel you played the best, enjoyed the most, and learnt the most? And if you had to say you learnt the least and it was the least favourable in a sense?
Probably Lincoln was my best when I went to Lincoln, but then it didn't turn out too good because I got injured near the end. I'd done my cruise shirt then.
Wow.
So yeah, I was out for like 9 months there. So, but that one I enjoyed the most. And then the worst, it can be 2, I'd say. Probably AFC Wimbledon when I went to them. I was only there for a month. played 2 games, and then I was out. I got taken out the team, and then I didn't play again. I come on 1 game, but it's one of them where I really didn't enjoy it. Even now, when we play against them, they're like, boo me. I find it too funny that when it happens.
Oh, man.
And then there's another one. I don't know if it was the worst because I still learned. Like at Brighton, I learned a lot. It weren't my best one because I didn't play too well, but I learned a lot from there. From like, not when I come out the team, like I weren't too happy. I was down. I was away from my family, and yeah, I was just thinking like, I don't know, like I think then you have to think. Going back, I should have thought like, oh, I need to work harder now. But I was just like, oh, whatever. Like, I'm gonna go back to Arsenal. It's all gonna be all right. But probably should have thought that's the time you need to work hard. That's one of my lessons there. Because then the manager at the time, he took me there was Russell Slade, but then he got sacked, and then they brought in Gus Poyet. So I learned a lot under him, but maybe I should have worked. If I would have worked harder, you never know what would have happened. I could have signed with him again after that, or maybe not. So you never know.
Do you feel you enjoyed it too much then? Like your career in that sense?
Say that again?
See how you mentioned like working harder. Do you feel you was a bit complacent, like you enjoyed the moment a bit too much rather than potentially thinking long term?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, definitely at a younger age. And then obviously when you get a family, that all changes. And then I leave Arsenal, and then obviously you're getting good money, life's all right, and then you leave there, and then I ended up signing for Dagenham. I mean, that's a big difference. So my wages turned from higher to maybe a quarter of it. So your whole life like completely changes. The way you're living, everything changes. So that's when you think, right, I better start bucking up my ideas, because then there's other players as well who don't even play no more, who I used to play with in the youth team. Then they're not even playing no more. So you're like, wow, that's not happening to me. So, and then I'm thinking, right, I've got a family. I still want to play football. That's what I love to do. So you think, well, I've got to knuckle down here. I'm given another chance. So you got to think, right, work hard. Got to go back to what I used to do. Work hard, listen to what everyone says, and just keep my head down, really.
Did you feel becoming a family man made you more of a focused footballer, maybe even in a sense a better footballer, in that you've bucked up your ideas, you're not just living for yourself anymore? And because you've been given a reality as to how cutthroat football can be, it's made you in a positive sense try even harder to, like you said, avoid that fate to this day as well.
Yeah, I think definitely that. I think kids change, and your family, my wife, and that changes everything, really. Because you're not, obviously, like you said, you're not doing it for yourself anymore. I don't want to be working on like a building site or something like that. I want to be playing football. I've still got that opportunity. I think everyone's dreams to do that. So I just got to keep your head down and just work hard.
That makes sense. Talk to me about your injury. Like you mentioned, I forgot to ask you about it earlier because I like to speak about these things. You said you've done your ligaments. That's a big injury. You're out for a long time. You know, what's going through your head at every possible junction? What's going through your head at the start of that injury? Did you feel you'd come back? How lonely I got so many questions in relation to the injury, man.
Yeah, I mean, the luckiest thing, I was at Arsenal, so I had like the top physios helping me at the time. But I was lucky because I had that security, because I still had a few years left on my contract as well. So it was just like, oh, I'm gonna get back and then just go from there. Really, didn't really hit me as, because then the guy said, you're gonna be out for 9 to 12 months. 9 to 12 months, I think it is. Oh no, 6 to 8 months. 6 to 9 months, yeah. So 6 to 9 months, and you're like, it don't hit you at the time, but then working through the rehab, it gets a bit continuous. You're doing the same thing. It does get hard because some points you're like, this ain't gonna get any better. You're feeling that this ain't getting any better, but you'll carry on doing the work. You got the physios there helping you. But then sometimes you get in other players like, I know it's not nice, but injured. So they're coming in, they're helping you a bit, getting your spirits up a bit. But then they go out to training and then you're like, oh, I'm back on my own. But then someone else will get injured that will help you get through. But then a lot of the time, the other players help you get through it, really.
When you came back from that injury, because I know when I was younger, I kind of hurt my ankle and I was like psychologically scared to like play certain passes that it would happen again. Did you play in kind of any sort of fear that, you know, if you take the wrong turn, go into the wrong sort of tackle, you're back to that sort of thing?
Nah, not really. I think that's what I was training for, innit? So you like prepare yourself. That's where the physios and that come into it. Like they tell you like you're ready, and then you go see the surgeon, and he says, yeah, like you feel strong. So like, and then you only go out there when you feel ready, like in yourself. So, but I actually did that. I actually done my cruciate twice.
Wow.
So on my left knee and my right knee.
Oh.
So yeah.
How did you do both of these injuries? Wow.
Now the first one on my left one. So I've just cleared the ball down the line, and then as I've landed on my left, it's just like buckled, like hyperextended my knee, and then it was painful for like what 2 seconds, and I think, oh, I'm gonna get up here. No, it wasn't happening. And then I got carried off or whatever, and then I actually didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna be all right. And then got the scan because I had some swelling on my knee and it weren't going down. So I was thinking, nah, surely there's something not right here. So then we had a scan a few weeks later, and then obviously got told the news. And then the second time, I was at Barnet at the time. So I was running down the right wing, and then I got into a tackle with a player. And as I've tried to block it, I've hyperextended my right knee.
Man.
Yeah. And then painful again for like, what, 3 seconds, 2 seconds? Like, real pain. And then I got up and I was thinking, oh, no, I'm all right. So I started jogging off because at the time, it's crazy because both of them were completely different. So I'm all right one now. So I've got up, started jogging. I'm thinking, oh, no, I'm all right. Couple minutes later, like, I'm thinking, nah, this ain't right, because I couldn't straighten my knee at the time.
Wow.
So I was telling one of the players, like, oh no, there's something wrong here. I'm running, but I can't like straighten my knee, so I'm like running a bit funny. He's like, no, go down. So I went down and then walked off. And then next day, pain, like just couldn't feel the pain. I was like to the physio, nah, this ain't right. You can tell something's not right. Had a scan now, and then a few days later he told me the news, and I was like, yeah, like I kind of knew from the first time, the pain. I was like, nah, that's not right. But everyone was staying optimistic for me, saying, nah, you're all right. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I don't think it's that. But obviously, you know, innit? You know in yourself that it's not right.
Right, yeah. Did you feel like second time round, like, I'm cool with this because it's unfortunate, but I've been here before? Did you sort of feel like sorry for yourself? Like, why me? Like, this luck doesn't make any sense. Like, why has it happened again?
Nah, not really. You can't. I don't think you can go around like that. But it's just that is like a common injury, innit? So, and they say if you do it once, then not you're bound to, but it can happen again. So you just try and strengthen up as much as you can, and just try to prevent it to happen, really. But yeah, I had a good physio behind me, so that helped me. I had contact with the physio at Arsenal, so I think that helped ease my mind a bit. But in some stages, you're like, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? And then am I going to get back to how I used to be? But physios help you and get you through it already.
Do you still feel the impact of them today? Like, as a fan, I don't really know I just assume once you're over an injury, you're kind of over it. Like, do you still feel? Do you feel any pain? Like, does it restrict you? Has it made you change how you play?
No, not so much playing, but like, say if I'm in the car for, I don't know, or playing for too long, I just have to like, it gets a bit stiff. Do you know what I mean? And then you have to warm up properly because there's like other muscles like hamstrings and things like that. So you gotta warm up properly and stretch and just do what some of the stuff you used to do during your rehab to prevent like other injuries. Because I did have before, I had like, you do get some hamstring problems, but I think this year where I've like looked after myself, stretched, done my work in the gym, I've like prevented all injuries this year, so just happy with that.
What leaving Arsenal? What was your favorite time leaving Arsenal? Like in terms of being at another club on a permanent basis, like where did you feel like you're really assured, you're loving your football, the fans love you, you're kind of untouchable? Was there any clubs like that?
I liked the second year at Dagenham, where I think I'd played every game, bar I think it was 4. I think I got sent off one of them, so that was 3-match ban, and then I dropped one of the games. But that year, like I was really enjoying football. I thought I was doing well, and yeah, that second year at Dagenham, also Gillingham as well in League One. I was enjoying it there as well because I was in and out of the team, but I think where I was at Brighton, I learned from my mistakes before. I was like, right, I'm out of the team. I've got to work harder. You never know what's going to happen. The manager gets sacked, and then they bring in someone else, and the right back who was playing at the time, he got injured in a game, and then I was on. And from then, the manager at the time was like, "Oh, you done well when you come on, so we're going to give you your chance. Like, you deserve to play." So I played from then.
Yeah, that's mature. I mean, you learn from your previous mistakes or old experiences and you use them to better yourself, man. I have a lot of respect for that. I mean, looking at your brother's played abroad. Have you ever had any opportunities to play abroad, and have you ever considered it at all?
Yeah, I did actually. Saying that, so when I left Gillingham, the manager who got sacked, he dropped me a time. He called me up, and he went over to India. And then he said, "Oh, we got this opportunity for you to come out to India for 6 months." And at the time, I was thinking about it, considering it, because there's different opportunity, different country, like. But then at the same time, I was always like, I still want to stay in England. So if there's a chance I can stay here, then I probably will. And then I had the opportunity to stay up. Martin Allen called me to stay up, come to Barnet. So couldn't really turn that down, really. So I wanted to stay in England still. So
yeah, I can't fault you for that. You say if you wanted to stay in England, you got a decent move. Yeah, decent. How did the moves because obviously as a fan, we don't really detail how these moves happen. Like we just see your name move to like Dagenham or move to Barnet. How did these moves happen? Like, are you just playing in the park and your agent calls you? Like, did a manager tap you up themselves? Like, how did these moves happen? Like, did they just come and meet you in a random coffee shop or catch the way you walk your dog and you like? How does it work, man? I've always found it fascinating.
No, all players know each other, so just like I play with a player, my manager will be like, "Oh, have you played with this guy? What's he like? Like, I want to get like, we're looking at him or whatever." So then you say, "Oh, yeah, he's a cool guy, whatever. Like, he works hard, he does his stuff, like, good player." They say, "What's his character like? Does he track back? Can he defend this? Did he do that?" They do all their research, ask players about him, and then that's when they make a call either to your agent or to the player themselves. Because I got a call that move at Barnet, I got a call from Martin Allen, and he gave me a call, and then he wanted to speak to me, and then I met him up at the Hive Stadium, and then had a chat with him, and then just goes from there really.
Mm.
And then there's another time where, so the second time I went to Dagenham, so I signed for them the second time.
Yeah.
And at the time, Peter Taylor was the manager, and he just signed at Dagenham. So Peter Taylor, funny enough, was my manager at Gillingham, and he was the same guy who called me to go to India. So when I seen him go to Dagenham, I wanted to be back home because I was at the time I was at Eastleigh.
Yeah.
And that was like a 3-hour journey.
There and back.
I just been no, just there.
Oh, okay, cool.
By Southampton way.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just left there, and didn't have a club, and I was like looking to stay in London still. So I give him a call, and then he said, "Yeah, like you're definitely a player. Like we want to look at. I know what you're like." So he had a chat with him, and then just went from there. Signed for him.
Did you have any moves that didn't work out? Like, did you has there ever been a move like it just seems like all I's have been dotted, T's have been crossed, and then last minute you get a call, I don't know, you're chilling with your kids or whatever playing, and then like the move isn't happening now, or this isn't happening anymore?
Yeah, so there was a time. So after I left Dagenham the first time, I went on trial to like about four or so clubs. So I went to Port Vale at the time. Went training there for a week. Their pre-season was mad. I'm not a long distance runner, so that probably was a bad time for me to go. And then I just didn't get a call back from them. Then I went to the same time. After that, I went to Southend on trial. That didn't work out. So that was another time. The manager even put out in the papers, in the Southend paper, saying, he could be a Ben Coke or that, because he was another trialist before, who signed and then had done well for the club. They're like, yeah, it could be one of him. Like, we're looking at him, he could sign for us. And then after a game, the manager was like, no, we're not going to sign you. And then next, I went to Cambridge after this, played in a game for them. And then after that, they was like, "Oh no, we're not what you're not what we're looking for." So, like, it's not gonna happen. So it's not. I'm thinking, what's going on? And then luckily enough, I got a trial at Gillingham, so I went there now. And then, like, I think the season had started now. And I'm like, I need to get somewhere. And lucky for me, the left back at the time got injured. And then I was like a player there, training with them every day. So he was like, right, we need a player, so you're a perfect fit for us. Like, I think you're going to do well. And like, I signed.
What did it feel like being on trial at these clubs? And like, was you ever anxious? Because firstly, people are going to look at you as being, former Arsenal sort of thing. Obviously, you need to get a club before you can't play anymore. Did you ever feel like you was trying to over impress too much? Do you ever feel like nerves got to you and you potentially just didn't play an actual game?
Yeah, probably, because you're like, I think nerves got a bit, because I want to try and impress. I need to try and do my stuff here. Maybe done too much, and then when you're getting knockbacks, you're like thinking, oh no, what's going on? Am I good enough for it? So then you just got to stay confident. Really, that's the main thing in football: confidence.
All right, on that, confidence is a big thing, because when people are not confident, it doesn't happen for them. When they're confident, a madness happens. You mentioned confidence. What's the single biggest component you think you need, excluding that, as a individual to become a professional footballer? Like, would you say it's technical ability, mental drive? What would you say it is?
Me is mental, because like for me, technically, I wasn't the best, so I've seen many like gifted, talented players, like technically brilliant players. Nowhere. They're nowhere because they didn't have that mentality side of that working hard. So that's the biggest thing for me. If you can have you can be technically gifted or whatever, you can be the best player, but if you don't work hard, then it's gonna get you nowhere. Because no one wants that. No one wants that lazy player. No one wants that player he's gonna take on 2 players and then
lose the ball.
Yeah, so that's not what no one wants.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought of like what you're gonna do when your career's over? Like, have you thought about? Because I think you just based on your experiences, you'd potentially be a great coach at some level if you wanted it and stuff like that. Have you started to think about your post-playing career?
Yeah, well,
listen, me. Apologies.
I miss you.
Sorry, man.
So at the time when I get a few days off, sometimes I work in a school.
Oh.
So I get just like a TA, teacher assistant. So I've gone into a few schools and that, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that, like working with children, working with kids, and even like I've been helping out my little boy's team. He does he's got a little team, and I help out a little bit of coaching there. So I think that's definitely the avenue I want to go down the road. I want to go down that road really.
How did you fall into teaching? Like, was that something you always thought, football and this, or that's something I'm going to look in, or did it happen like by someone suggesting it, or did it just happen by accident?
No, because my mum at the time she does it. Okay. So she set me onto an agency, and then they're like, "Oh, we'd love to have you on board. I think you'll do great." And I've gone into a few schools, and they were like I've enjoyed it. They've called me back a few times. So yeah, I think that's a good thing when they're like, and the kids can't actually saying, "Oh, Mr. Hoyt," like they're loving it. So yeah, that's very enjoyable.
Yeah, man. Like you can see the smile on your face. You definitely got a passion for it. What do you see yourself as being a head teacher or something in the future?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I couldn't go that far. I couldn't be. I'm like the more so a PE teacher or something like that. But or I don't know. I'm not sure which avenue I want to go down in teaching, but maybe a coach or so. I'm not quite sure yet. But definitely in sport because I'm not very academic. So sporting's the way.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned your son. Is your son signed by any chance to any club?
No, he's 8. He's 8, so.
Oh, you're not, yeah.
Yeah, no. So he plays in his team Shenfield. So yeah,
that's decent. What was I going to ask you? Did you ever stop to do your coaching badges during your playing career?
Yeah, I actually done my coaching badges this year. So I've done my level 2. Level 2 this year. Yeah, so I finished that, and then I'm not sure how far I want to go with that, but that's obviously a start. So you can always go do more.
Mm-hmm. Finally, I'd like to ask you, who's been the biggest impact on your playing career? Like, they don't necessarily have to be managers and coaches and people that have necessarily improved you purely from a footballing basis.
Well, my family really. I think my mum, my dad, they travelled everywhere, like Hong Kong. When I've played for England, they've travelled all over to support me. Even my wife now, she comes to watch all the games. Tries to get to as many games as she can, even with the 3 kids. So yeah, no, I mean, everybody really, like my mum, my dad, my brother, and definitely my wife, all 3 of them, before them. So they're big support. So it's a big thing when you're playing and then you look up and then you see your family there supporting you. That's a nice feeling.
Chest a bit higher after seeing that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right, real final question now. I'm gonna let you go. I have to ask you. Excluding Wenger, who's been like? Was there a manager that you felt like was your own sort of Pep Guardiola? Like, you've made me change the way I look at football. You've improved me on a madness as a player, sort of thing.
I don't really know because I take from all the managers, I've taken something from all of them. Whether it's positive or negative, like, I've definitely learned a lot from all different managers. Whether it's like, I don't know, like how the way I play or my attitude towards them, or attitude towards on and off the field. Like, so I mean, I've taken time from all managers. Even now, I'm still learning, like, from players now, because so like this year we've had George Elokobi. He's been a big influence this year. So I've learned a lot from him, just how he is, how he goes about, how he captains the team, and just how he is really. So I've learned from players, managers. I've learned a lot. I take something from everybody. I try to anyway.
All right, cool. So if I had to put it to you, you said you took a bit from everybody. What would your coaching philosophy be like from a managerial point of view? If Gavin Hoyte is now a manager and you've got a team, and you've got to go get 3 points at senior level on Sunday.
So I'm going. My team's a straight hard-working team. As in what, playing style, everything.
Yeah, everything, man. The whole shebang. How you're setting it out? Are you a 4-3-3 man? Are you 4-2-3-1? You know, are you modern day or are you like a Burnley sort of manager? I don't know.
I'm gonna go for a 4-3-3. I'm gonna go play that from the back. But if we have to go long, then we're gonna have to go long sometimes. Can't always just, tiki-taka and that. You can't be always like that. I gotta have some rough players in there because can't be all nice. Definitely need some magic in there. So yeah, I'm a bit of a nice playing football, but if we need to, then we'll stick a foot in.
Turn it around.
Yeah. We'll stick a foot in or two. But my team will be very hardworking. That's what everyone will know.
I can't blame you on that, man. That was a good way of answering that part. Gavin, it's honestly been a pleasure having you. Your experiences are actually worth their weight in gold. Thank you for taking your time up to speak to me, man. It really means a lot. Thank you.
No, thank you. I know I enjoyed it. Thanks, like, good questions and that, and enjoyed speaking to you. Man.
Thank you very much, man. We'll definitely do this again soon.
For sure.
Peace out, man.